This Morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday.
Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Alpedoan.
And I am Vivian Oguche.
Before beginning news, kindly visit our website on www.vop.ng for fresh and trendy news. And now to the headlines. NLC confident Obi needs no coalition to defeat Tinubu.
And DSS submits Radio Biafra devices in Kanu's trial.
FIRS objects Binance's move to reject court documents.
And IBAS recovers vehicles from suspended Rivers Deputy Gov.
On the foreign scene, Ukraine ready for minerals resource deal with US.
Well, in business, telcos order $1 billion network equipment, says NCC.
And in entertainment, Davido laments not being given credit in the industry.
And in sports news, Fury teases Joshua to spark potential return. Now the news in detail. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has declared that the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, does not require any coalition with the People's Democratic Party, PDP, or support from political figures like former Vice President Atiku Abubakar or ex-Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai to win the 2027 presidential election. Speaking in an interview, the Deputy President of the NLC Political Commission, Professor Theophilus Undubwaku, asserted that Obi remains a formidable and widely accepted candidate, capable of defeating President Bola Tinubu in a free and fair contest. Undubwaku dismissed any speculation about Obi rejoining the PDP, describing the opposition party as a crisis-ridden and near-empty platform. He said Peter Obi is a sellable candidate who was already coasting to victory in the 2023 elections before the controversial glitches.
Terrorism and treason trial of the leader of the separatist indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, opened on Tuesday before the Federal High Court in Abuja, with the prosecution tendering several exhibits including Radio Biafra equipment. At the trial, Kanu maintained that he is not a violent person as alleged by the federal government. Instead, he claimed that his fight is solely for the emancipation of the people in the southeast, south-south, and parts of Benue and Kogi State. Kanu made the statement in a written document submitted to the Department of State Services on October 15, 2015 in Lagos. The statement was read aloud in open court during the resumed hearing of his terrorism trial. Kanu is facing 7 counts of terrorism brought against him by the federal government. He was first arrested on October 14, 2015, upon his return to Nigeria from the United Kingdom. He was granted bail in 2017 on health grounds after being detained at the Kuje Correctional Center.
And on the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has objected to move by the cryptocurrency firm Binance Holdings Limited to reject court documents served on it in respect of a $79.5 billion suit pending against it and 2 others before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The FIRS in the suit is, among others, demanding $79.5 billion US for economic losses allegedly caused by the event. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual. It's the fundamental right of everyone to enjoy the highest attainable standard of health, without distinction of race, religion, or political belief. On VOP TV, we bring you Health Check, a show that x-rays different health issues and provides solutions with the help of experts in the medical field. Join us every Saturday, 2 p.m. on Health Check. Health Check on VOP TV. Your health, our priority. Everybody is a state of complete physical, mental.
Welcome back. There were agitations in some quarters on Wednesday following the retrieval of some vehicles assigned to the suspended Rivers Deputy Governor, Professor Ngozi Odo, by the Rivers Administrative Vice Admiral Ibok Ibas, retired. The Democracy Watch Nigeria first raised the alarm and said the operation to recover the vehicles was carried out on April 25th by some naval personnel. The spokesperson of the group, Vincent Opara, while narrating the incident, said the naval officers, acting on the direct instruction of the sole administrator, carried out the operation in a commando-style raid, taking away 2 Toyota Hilux vehicles and 1 Toyota Hiace bus. The brazen action took place in the early hours of the day and has since sparked widespread condemnation across the state. This development marks a new low in the ongoing disregard for due process and democratic norms under the current administration. The action is viewed by many observers as a targeted provocation intended to intimidate and humiliate the office of the Deputy Governor, which remains a constitutionally recognized institution.
And now the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has declared one foreign national, Eli Bitter, wanted for his alleged involvement in a cryptocurrency fraud linked to the online trading platform Crypto Bridge Exchange. According to an official bulletin issued by the Commission, Bitter, 41, is wanted for a suspected fraudulent scheme carried out by via Cibex, which was reportedly defrauded multiple unsuspecting investors across Nigeria. Now, the public is hereby notified that Eli Bitter, whose photograph appears above, is wanted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for fraud allegedly perpetrated on an online trading platform called Cibex. Now, the EFCC stated that the Commission disclosed that Bitter's last known address is at Engineer George and Nemo Crescent, Lekki Phase 1, Lekki, Lagos State. Now, the EFCC urged anyone with useful information regarding Bitter's whereabouts to contact any of its zonal offices in Ibadan, Uyo, Sokoto, Maiduguri, Benin, Makurdi, Kaduna, Ilorin, Enugu, Kano, Lagos, Gombe, Port Harcourt, or Abuja.
Meanwhile, the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to, within 24 hours, release a socialite and businesswoman Aisha Achimugu. Justice Inyang Ekwo, in a short ruling, also added that parties in the suit, especially the EFCC, had to report to the court to give report on compliance to the order of court on May 2, 2025. Recall that Justice Ekwo had on Monday ordered Achimugu to submit herself to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in connection with an ongoing investigation bordering on money laundering and other offenses. Justice Ekwo also held that following her appearance at the EFCC office, the anti-graft agency is to return with her and make an appearance before the court on Wednesday, April 30 for report. The EFCC arrested Achimugu at about 5 a.m. on Tuesday at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport.
And as preparations begin for the 2025 Workers' Day celebration, citizens are calling for improved working conditions, fair wages, and stronger labor protections. Many are urging the government and employers to prioritize workplace safety and climate-conscious policies to ensure a better future for workers. VOP TV's Matthew Ogunswada examines the significance of the day and the growing demands for dignity and safety in the workplace.
May 1st is observed as a public holiday in Nigeria in commemoration of Workers' Day, aligning with global celebration of International Labour Day. The annual event honors the contribution and resilience of workers across all sectors of the economy. Traditionally, the President of the Nigerian Labour Congress addresses the nation on Workers' Day, speaking directly to workers and reaffirming the union's commitment to their welfare. This year's celebration is themed Ensuring Safety and Health at Work in a Changing Climate, reflecting growing concerns over the impact of climate change on workplace conditions. The federal government, through the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, declared May 1st a national public holiday, as the ruling All Progressives Congress also acknowledged the role of Nigerian workers in national development, particularly highlighting their sacrifices during the COVID-19 pandemic. As Voice of the People TV, we gathered public opinions on the significance of this day and its impact in promoting workers' rights, encouraging dignity in labor, and fostering national development.
First and foremost, what we workers are passing through now is getting beyond something we can say. But what I want the government to do is just that there are some places that government should at least say, these are the places workers to stay, to be working, apart from people working roadside or working here and there. Because a lot of things are happening now. Without we workers now, we're doing one or two in the street, which things will have turned bad more than this. So we'll do. If government can look to that, we'll be happy.
Government should just please try and provide more job for us. As you can see, I'm done with my education, but look at me carrying CV all about. There's no job anywhere. They should just please help us provide more job for us. We the citizens, the country, so that everybody can be happy. There's a lot of suffering already. Everybody are aware of everything that is happening in Nigeria here. So please, they should just do more better.
It's very important for every worker to take their job so seriously and important. Develop more interest in what you do, no matter what kind of job you do, either in the private sector or in the public sector. Most important thing is your interest, and that's how the productivities will come up better. So, and if you have more interest in what you do, it will encourage you no matter what the weather is. Even if it is raining, you feel like, okay, this is a dedication. Just like you see yourself as a doctor now. You say it's raining, your patient is sick, is in the hospital. So the humanity aspect of it and dedication to that job is what is important. So you have to go make sure that there's nothing you can do than to go and take care of your job first. That's it. Then the government also should encourage the workers in terms of their wages. Because wages is very important. Nobody tells me before I increase the salaries of my staff. No. So the moment I'm looking at the environment, the cost of transportation going up and everything, then I look at it, most especially when I have good jobs and I'm happy, I also look at them and say, okay, take some tips and be happy. So we should also encourage them. And the moment the government is stepping in to encourage the workers, it's helping reducing the level of corruption also. Because somebody is earning good salary, we find it hard being involved in corruption. But when the salary is not enough, then there's nothing they can do than to be looking for every other means to survive.
The government has a whole lot to give to the workers, because whatever that affects the workers is going to affect the common man citizen again. But if the workers are being neglected, they cannot affect the citizen. What they get from the government flows to the citizen, just like it has to come with unit of government, like the federal to the state, down to the local government. That's where we have the tiers of government. So now, when the government has been excited, when they are being treated the way they ought to treat it, the common man citizen gets their reward too from them. So it has to start from the workers and to the common men citizen there.
As Nigeria marks 2025 Workers' Day celebration, many are urging the government to provide stable and better working conditions, create more jobs, as well as address the economic hardship plaguing the country. We are hopeful that this great rejuvenation will bring great transformation to the nation at large. Matthew Ogunswada, reporting for Voice of the People TV.
All right, and we say happy Workers' Day in advance to you and to all the workers around the world.
Yeah, same to you too.
All right. To more news now, where Vice President Kashim Shettima has said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is on a determined mission to transform Nigeria's economic structure into one that benefits the majority, not just a privileged few. Speaking at the Kaduna Economic and Financial Inclusion Summit on Wednesday, Shettima noted that the president's renewed hope agenda is focused on expanding economic opportunities for all Nigerians. Represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff in the Office of the Vice President, Senator Hassan Hadija, Shettima revealed that Tinubu recently inaugurated the Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion, mandated to implement key reforms under the ASO Accord and steer the country toward inclusive economic growth. He said the committee, which he chairs, is tasked with driving reforms that align with the federal government's ambition of building a $1 trillion economy while ensuring a greater financial access for undeserved communities across Nigeria.
And now the federal government, through the Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP, on Wednesday launched the National Procurement Certification Portal, NCCP, to address the challenges of effective utilization of public resources that have impeded broader economic development in the country. Speaking at the launch in Abuja, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the introduction of the digital portal is not just a technological upgrade, but a transformative tool that addresses some of the most critical challenges in public procurement. He explained that some of the challenges included the persistent bottlenecks, such as the suboptimal procurement practices, insufficiency skilled personnel, and the lack of institutionalized capacity building framework. He said it was a great honor for him to participate at the official launch of the digital platform developed under the Sustainable Procurement, Environmental and Social Standards Enhancement Program in collaboration with the World Bank.
The administration of Governor Monday Okpeholo on Wednesday took decisive action by dethroning two traditional rulers, one over alleged complicity in kidnapping and another due to irregular appointment procedures. The affected monarchs include Umoru Inusa Umoru, who was appointed as the Adenoje of South Ibe in Itsako West local government area, now removed for allegedly displacing the rightful ruler Alhaji Aliyu Kelvin Danesi. Lukman Akemokwe, the Oko Pelagbe of Okpela in Etsako East local government area, dethroned for violating customary laws regulating succession to the throne. Dr. George Oshiapi Egabon, the Okumagbe of Uwano Kingdom in Agenebode, also in Isako East, removed over alleged involvement in kidnapping activities within his domain. A statement issued by the Secretary to the State Government, Umar Musa Ikilo, Esquire, reads in part, the Executive Council of Edo State, at its meeting held on April 30, 2025, approved the revocation of Umoru Inusa Umoru's appointment as the Idenoje of South Ibe. The decision is based on the fact that the stool was never vacant prior to his appointment, and Alhaji Aliyu Kelvin Danesi has been reinstated as the legitimate Idenoje.
Away from Edo State now, the Minister of Education, Dr. Olatunji Alausa, has urged universities to shift focus to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics (STEM), stating that Nigeria has more than enough graduates of social science and related courses in the labor market. Alausa spoke at the National Universities Commission NUC headquarters in Abuja during the presentation of provisional licenses to the newly approved private universities. According to him, Nigeria needs problem solvers, not those who would graduate to become job seekers in the already saturated labor market. He warned the newly licensed private universities not to venture into social science-related programs, but instead run specialized institutes that would foster problem-solving, critical thinking, and innovation skills. Meanwhile, the 11 new operational licenses bring Nigeria's universities to 295.
The Girls Power Initiative (GPI) has launched community watch groups across key local government areas in Edo and Delta states aimed at curbing the rising issue of child trafficking in the region. The watch groups have been set up in Ughelli North, Ughelli South, Ika South, and Oshimile North local government areas in Delta State, along with Owan East, Owan West, Ovia Northeast, Ego, and Ikpowa, Oka local government areas in Edo State. The initiative is a direct response to the increasing concern about the prevalence of child trafficking in Nigeria, a practice that continues to undermine the future of many children. GPI's goal is to empower communities to take proactive steps in identifying, preventing, and addressing trafficking activities. The establishment of the watch groups follows a series of quarterly consultation meetings held between March and April 2025. During the sessions, GPI collaborated closely with local stakeholders, including community leaders, religious figures, educators, and security agents, to create awareness and strengthen early intervention strategies.
Now, former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, Omoyele Sowore, has criticized President Bola Tinubu's administration over worsening economic hardship, rising inflation, and what he described as harsh government policies affecting Nigerians. Sowore made this known while addressing participants at a student symposium held at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. He urged students to serve as ambassadors of change and to make informed choices when leadership opportunities arise. He emphasized the need for student grants rather than student loans and called on the youth to unite in building a better Nigeria.
Our peers. And it is why it's easy for them when they see vibrant, astute young people like me. They look at us and say, oh, Sowore is the SUG, Student Union Government. And the people who are saying it are young people too. I have no regrets. My best life, my best entry into this world, my best announcement in life was as the Student Union President of the University of Lagos. The best. And I have said it, and I'll repeat it any day. As Student Union Government, University of Lagos in 1992, I will run this country better than Obasanjo, Buhari, Tinubu, and all of these jokers compared. I mean, all of them combined together, I run this country better than them. As a student union president when I was 21 years old. Because why? When I was 21, I had the audacity and the idea that a country of mine first deserved democracy. And I fought for it and it came by 1999. This was a struggle we all fought between 1989 when I arrived in the University of Lagos and by 10 years later when I attained democracy. But the sad thing about the democracy we attained is that the people who were making fun of us that we were delinquent juveniles. That's how you used to call us. Juvenile delinquents in our time. They are the ones who are benefiting from the struggle of the juvenile delinquents. Now, all the people who are running for office today, or who have run for office since 1999, never fought for democracy. Just as we are having it now, most of the people who are making fun of you on social media when we are asking for a better country are likely to be the one who will govern this country in the future. While you, who is fighting now, will be called names.
Coming up next is World News. We'll be right back. Welcome back. In a move that could significantly improve the Kyiv-Moscow peace talks involving the President Donald Trump administration, Ukraine has expressed readiness to sign a minerals resource deal with the United States. Various reports noted that Ukrainian Economy Minister Yulia Srydenko is in Washington to finalize the resource deal with U.S. negotiators. The pact, which has been in development for months, would reportedly create a joint fund to manage Ukraine's investment in its natural resources. The White House has not confirmed if the U.S. is ready to sign. However, the deal will also require approval from the Ukrainian parliament to be completed. The joint fund would give U.S. investors special access to development projects focused on Ukrainian natural resources such as aluminium, natural gas, oil, and graphite. The agreement also reportedly recognizes Ukraine's aim to become a member of the European Union and is designed to be compatible. It requires Kyiv to create improved conditions for U.S. investment in Ukraine's mining, energy, and technology, and further strengthen the relationship between Washington and Kyiv. It also affirms America's commitment to the reconstruction and modernization of Ukraine at the world's end.
And the United States has told the International Court of Justice that Israel is not legally obligated to allow specific humanitarian actors, including United Nations Agency for Palestine, to operate in Gaza. State Department lawyer Joshua Simmons, who represented Washington, claimed that international law does not impose any unqualified obligations on an occupying power to accept relief from all entities. While acknowledging the importance of humanitarian aid, he stressed that an occupying power retains a margin of appreciation in deciding which organizations may operate, particularly when national security is at stake. Justifying Israel's decision to curtail cooperation with the agency, Simmons told the ICJ that there are serious concerns about the UNRWA's impartiality. Simmons further urged the court not to create new exceptional legal obligations tailored specifically to Israel, warning that this would undermine international law. According to him, identification of such novel obligations will be inconsistent with international law, adding that it will not bring the hostages home or resolve the conflict. Meanwhile, Simmons cautioned against expanding the powers of the UN General Assembly, insisting that only the Security Council holds binding authority under the UN Charter.
In another development, Switzerland government has officially banned Hamas and its affiliated groups' effects from May 15, 2025. The rule prohibits any activity or support linked to the Palestinian faction and authorizes entry bans and deportation for individuals tied to the group. Swiss authorities said the decision aims to block Hamas from operating within the country or leveraging Swiss territory for financial purposes. It follows similar actions by Germany, which banned Hamas after the group's attack on October 7, 2023, in which approximately 1,200 Israelis died and over 200 taken hostage. In response, Israel launched a military campaign in the Gaza Strip, killing no fewer than 52,400 Palestinians, many of them women and children, and injuring over 118,000 civilians.
Meanwhile, Israel's military chief, Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, says his force struck operatives who attacked civilians from the Druze community on the outskirts of Damascus after an outbreak of deadly sectarian violence. Zamir said he had instructed Israeli forces to prepare to strike Syrian government targets if such attacks on the religious minority continued. His statement came after the airstrikes around the mainly Druze town of Ashafiyad, Sanaya, and neighboring Sanaya, alongside sporadic but heavy gunfire. Syrian security forces said they had been operating there against outlaw groups which had launched attacks that killed 16 of their personnel. However, a UK-based monitoring group, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, reported that 6 Druze gunmen had also been killed during the fighting in the area. Earlier this week, no fewer than 17 other people were killed in clashes between Druze gunmen, security personnel, and pro-government fighters in the mainly Druze suburb of Jaramana before calm was restored. The violence erupted after an audio clip of a man insulting the Prophet Muhammad and circulated on social media angered Sunni Muslims.
American teenager and high school student Maya Mahige completed a brutal swim across New Zealand's 13.67-mile Cook Strait, enduring thousands of jellyfish stings during the 14-hour swim. The frequency with which they were getting scorched against her skin was such that Mahige eventually stopped counting her jellyfish stings. At this point, Mahige was already several hours into her 27-mile swim across the Cook Strait in New Zealand and had slowly become immune to the small burning sensations that covered her body. At the end, even her face, nose, ears, and lips have been peppered with them. In what equates roughly to once every third stroke, the 17-year-old Californian estimates that she was being stung constantly, like 25 times a minute, over and over. Crossing the Cook Strait, which separates New Zealand's North and South Islands, was another step towards her goal of becoming the youngest person to complete the Ocean 7, a series of brutal open water swims around the globe. Mahige, who has now successfully traversed the Cook Strait, the Molucca I Channel in Hawaii, and Catalina Channel off the coast of Los Angeles, and the English Channel between England and France, all before graduating from high school.
What a feat, Mahig. Congratulations. And now the United Arab Emirates and Sudan on Wednesday exchanged accusations about arms transfer as tensions continue to rise between the two countries. Reports cited the Emirati Attorney General Hamad al-Shamsi as saying that security agencies foiled an attempt to illegally transfer weapons and military equipment to the Sudanese army. According to al-Shamsi, a number of cell members were arrested on accusations of unauthorized mediation, brokering, and illicit trafficking of military equipment. However, the Sudanese government has denied the accusation, calling it an attempt by Abu Dhabi to evade responsibility and cover up its support for the paramilitary rapid support forces. Government spokesman Khalid Ali said on his official X account that the Sudanese government pays no attention to these fabricated allegations. Sudan had filed a lawsuit at the International Court of Justice in March, accusing the UAE of complicity in the commission of genocide by arming the RSF. The Hague-based court said it will issue its ruling in the case on the 5th of May.
Scientists in China's Gansu province have achieved the milestone of reloading fuel to an operational nuclear fission reactor while it was running. The nuclear breakthrough, which follows the country's quest to safely generate limitless clean energy, shows that fission reactors can run and be refueled continuously, potentially offering a constant source of power generation. Chinese engineers began constructing the experimental machine, a thorium molten salt reactor back in 2018, drawing on declassified U.S. research. Thorium MSRs are a type of advanced nuclear technology that use liquid fuels, typically molten salt, as both fuel and coolant, and are generally safer than existing fission reactors which use uranium. According to reports, it marks the first long-term stable operation of the technology. The project's chief scientist, Xu Hongji, said China now leads the global frontier in the energy revolution following decades of intensive research.
Well, coming up next, business, sports, and entertainment stories. After this break, stay with us.
Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP This Morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday.
Welcome back. Business news now. Telecom operators have ordered over $1 billion in network infrastructure from original equipment manufacturers in China to overhaul and upgrade the quality of service, the Nigerian Communications Commission said on Tuesday. While the telecom equipment has yet to arrive, be cleared, or be deployed in country, the move signals a return to capital investment in the sector after a prolonged period of financial strain. The telcos, who serve more than 160 million subscribers nationwide, are increasing their investment to meet the demands of consumers. The executive vice chairman of the NCC, Aminu Maida, told industry leaders in Lagos, who converged to upgrade or update the Nigerian Communications Act 2023 to align with current technological trends. Our operators have committed to investing over $1 billion in telecom infrastructure this year. This is more than double the investment from last year. But this equipment needs to be manufactured. We went to China, and the original manufacturers have confirmed the orders, the EVC said. As a sector, valued at over $75 billion, prepares for its next phase of growth, the regulator emphasizes that robust infrastructure will be crucial to meeting rising data demand and supporting emerging digital services across the economy. The development comes months after the NCC approved a 50% tariff increase, the first in 11 years, aimed at alleviating the sector from soaring operating costs, which operators say have risen by more than 300% over the last decade.
African Export-Import Bank has rolled out a $3 billion revolving credit line that will enable Nigerian, African, and Caribbean buyers to source petrol, diesel, jet fuel, and other products from refineries on the continent more easily. In a statement, the bank expects the facility to provide $10 billion to $14 billion of trade finance over its first 3 years and help reduce the region's roughly $30 billion annual fuel import bill. Both oil export and import-dependent economies have been whipsawed this year by a sharp fall in crude prices and a jump in freight costs. Brent crude is down more than 20% since mid-January on supply dynamics and on fears that a global trade war will sap demand.
Now, the Corporate Affairs Communication CAC says it is a criminal offense under Section 863 of the Compliance and Allied Matters Act 2020 to carry on business in Nigeria as a company, a limited liability partnership, or under a business name without registration. In a statement signed by the CAC management, it said the general public should note that Section 729 of the Act requires every company registered under the Act to state its name as a registered and registration number outside every place where it carries on business. According to the statement, the company is required to state its registered name and registration number on all its official publications, including its letterhead, its signage, marketing and publicity materials. It added that in view of the foregoing, every company, limited liability partnership and business name proprietors is hereby required to ensure full compliance with the above requirements of the Act within 6 weeks of the notice. Failing, the Commission shall take all necessary steps, including prosecution, to enforce compliance.
In out sport, where former world heavyweight champion Tyson Fury has teased a return to the ring and a potential showdown with Anthony Joshua by posting a short clip on his social media with a cryptic message. The 36-year-old Gypsy King shared a 12-second video revealing his back in the gym training with Sugar Hill Stewart. Fury began the clip by saying, "Just in the gym, bumped into someone you might know." He then panned around to show his American trainer Stewart, who smiled and said, "You know what time it is?" Looking directly into the camera, Fury delivered an unmistakable message. "You know what's coming." The Mokambi fighter announced his retirement from boxing in January this year, following his second successive loss to Alexander Usyk in December. However, given Fury's history of short-lived retirement, many boxing insiders remained skeptical about his intentions. Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn previously questioned the legitimacy of Fury's retirement, suggesting it was merely a ploy to increase the financial value of a potential mega fight with Joshua.
So, sports chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, has accused some state governors of working against efforts to revive and grow the Nigerian sports ecosystem. Diko warned that the nation's inability to maintain its numerous stadiums or host competitions at home was largely due to poor leadership and misplaced loyalty from key decision makers. There is only one stadium in Nigeria that currently meets international standards to host top-tier competitions. If for any reason it becomes unavailable, Nigeria would have to play international matches abroad, said Diko. Yet, no country in Africa has as many stadiums as we do. They are spread across the country but are either abandoned or poorly maintained. He added that one of the most significant challenges has been the widespread use of synthetic pitches, which he described as a long-term setback.
In a significant boost for the future of sport development and youth empowerment in the Southwest region, the Director General of the Dawn Commission, Sheye Oyeleye, has formally endorsed the Southwest Games. He described it as a transformative platform perfectly aligned with the region's aspirations of sustainable growth and regional integration. Oyeleye made the declaration while receiving the organizing committee of the Southwest Games 2025 at the Commission's headquarters in Ibadan. The delegation, led by the chairman of the Southwest Games, Dr. Larry Alfred, paid a courtesy visit to the Dawn Commission to present the sterling outcomes of the maiden edition of the tournament and to seek the Commission's institutional endorsement and support for future editions.
Well, in entertainment news, Afrobeats artist David Adeleke, often known as Davido, claims he does not receive enough credit for his contributions to the Nigerian music industry. He explained that despite being consistent in the music industry for 15 years, people don't give him due credit. Speaking in a recent interview, Davido said, "I have been conquering the music industry for 15 years, but the crazy thing is that people don't give me my flowers." Despite his claims of not getting enough credit, Davido is one of the most awarded artists, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa. He earned the Artist of the Year at the recently held 17th edition of the Headies Awards in Lagos. He was also named Digital Artist of the Year at the awards event.
Billionaire businessman Emeka Okonkwo, better known as E-Money, has broken the silence after sharing a new video after being released by the EFCC. It was earlier reported that E-Money was arrested by the anti-graft agency for allegedly abusing the naira at Obi Kubana's birthday party. The arrest had caused an outrage online, with many citing how the kids of the billionaire Okoya were supposedly left alone despite abusing the naira. Following his release, E-Money took to his Instagram page to break silence, noting that there is no tension and everything is great. Speaking further, E-Money thanked his fans for their continued support and love.
Well, that's it on News Hour. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. NLC confident Obi needs a no coalition to defeat Tinubu.
DSS subpoenas Radio Biafra devices in Kano's trial.
FIRS objects Binance's move to reject court documents.
Ibas recovers vehicles from suspended Rivers deputy governor.
On the foreign scene, Ukraine ready for minerals resource deal with US.
In business, telcos ordered $1 billion network equipment, says NCC.
In entertainment, Davido laments not being given credit in industry.
And in sports, Fury teases Joshua to spark potential return. I do have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we have Voice of the People TV, and on all the social media platforms, we have VOP TV Live. Hey, I'm Jerry Appiah.
I'm Vivian Oguche.